I saw from a release that came from your office just a little while ago an effort to build a general aviation center to promote and push forward a number of aviation issues and to help aviation from that standpoint. What can you tell me about that?
Well, and that involves everybody. That involves all of the organizations, the pilot organizations. There's not one central location. Well, you could argue that there is with the FAA, but wait a minute, they're advocates for the wrong side in some of these issues. And so this center is going to be a center that everyone's going to be in on. Anyone having to do with business or general aviation is going to be involved in it. And so that's going to be the one place where everything is going to come together. This wasn't my idea. This wasn't something we had to pass to help. But it is taking place right now as a result of these organizations. And it's good stuff that happens. I mean, when issues come along, let me give you an example. Up until a couple of years ago, a guy named Bill Schuster was the chairman of the committee in the House of Representatives that oversees aviation issues. But he was dead set on privatizing the air traffic controllers. Now, I know something about that, and I was involved in that, and I can remember going to and joining with all the pilots' organizations, and what we did is we just beat them. Not me. I was the point man in Washington, but it was all these organizations that got together. And I promise you, we would not have won that one if it hadn't been for the fact that everyone became the battle cry. I can remember signing things here at Oshkosh to go home and tell your legislator, this is something you're going to have to get done. So it worked. You got to wake up. That's all.
With the aviation center that you're talking about, as well as protecting aviation through legislation and with the example that you're setting, what is it that we need to do to instill the kind of aviation values, the values that really build better lives for the future? How do we take this next generation of aviators and create something wonderful?
Well, Jim, we're doing it now. And so what we want to do is exaggerate or emphasize and expand what we're already doing. Now, I mentioned the two programs that are in the bill that we passed this last year. That's the fact that was going to happen, and there are some pilot programs started. That helped us in getting the focus with the young people, kids that are in high school. Now, the center, what it would do is take the things that we have done collectively through all the associations and put them in one central location. The problem we have, when I introduce a bill having to do with general aviation, there's this myth out there that somehow if you own an airplane, you're a fat cat. And of course, the best way to find out that's not true is to come to Oshkosh and you see the kind of people, the single interest people. Those people need to have the direction of anything that's going on that's going to expand aviation. Now, why is it important to expand aviation? Number one, it's a manufacturing base. We've got to produce more airplanes. And the more we do in aviation, more military is copying and benefiting from that. And so long as this is going on, this is something that is helping us in that industry. But again, we're competing. Right now, we're competing with China and Russia primarily, more than anybody else, but also others. And so when we want to stay ahead, if we allow other countries to get general aviation ahead of us, then that country more than likely is going to get its military aviation ahead of us. And we don't want that to happen. We went through that in the Obama administration. We survived it. And as of this coming week, we're going to make a major step forward. Nothing would be more beneficial to me today, right now, than to have that center operating so that we can put encouragement on members of the Senate to pass this legislation that is going to be a budget to rebuild our military.
Aero-TV is brought to you by
Today is a new dawn. with a new name.
Un nuevo logotipo.
A new factory.
Und einen globalen Kundenfokus.
We are Continental Aerospace Technologies, and we stand behind you.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.